What's going on, guys? How we doing on this Wednesday night? Wherever you are, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, hit that like button. Hope all is well with you guys. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How we doing? Welcome, Rachel. What's up? Good seeing you as always. Love the profile picture. It's your OTC. Guys, be sure to hit that like button, that thumbs up when you make your way in here. We're going to talk all things pro wrestling tonight, all right? Um, we're going to talk a little bit of everything tonight, okay? We're going to talk WWE Elimination Chamber. We're going to talk AEW Revolution, both pay-per-views coming up in early March. We're going to talk about TNA tomorrow night, live episode filming in Orlando, Florida, which should be interesting. We saw a lot of TNA stars make their way to NXT on Tuesday, so you better believe we're going to see some NXT stars showing up on TNA in Orlando, nonetheless, Thursday night. And then last but not least, we're going to talk a little bit about Friday Night SmackDown coming up. All right, guys. So, yeah, I know you'd like that, Rachel. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, guys. Mainly, if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button as well. I am still a little under the weather. I'm doing much better than I was the last 4 or 5 days, so I sound a little nasally and stuff. But hope all is well with you guys. NXT was good last night, Rach. Game to but I have to work in the morning. Thank you, Miss J. Thank you for the thumbs up, and thank you for stopping in. Finally feeling a little better. Been sick since like late Friday, early Saturday, since the last stream, SmackDown stream. So hope to see you guys, whoever has to dip out, like Miss J, see you Friday after the SmackDown review. Vintage, doing all right, man. Again, I've been sick the last few days. First day, I felt good enough to talk a little bit, so let's see how long that lasts. But my next live review of a show will be Friday after SmackDown. Fingers crossed. So, do you have the mutated Undertaker? I don't know what you're referring to, Skeleton. But guys, again, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Please also hit the subscribe as well. And LFG, yeah, the WWE figure. I don't think I have that one, Skeleton. I thought LFG was good, Rachel. I caught it the next day. I caught it, yeah, or Tuesday. Nonetheless, I thought Legends Future Greats was pretty good. It's something I'm definitely going to be keeping a keen eye on going forward. Very interesting cast in a lot of ways, so I'm looking forward to it. Simone Watchman, how we doing? Welcome back. Again, guys, I'm going to do my best to get through this. I'm still getting over a cold, so I love the gab. I love the yap with you guys, but I'll see how much I could do until my sinuses, damn near explode my face. So be sure to hit that thumbs up, guys. Again, if you're new here, welcome, subscribe. And we're going to talk a little bit of Elimination Chamber, AEW Revolution, and then we're going to talk TNA in Orlando tomorrow night. And we're going to talk about SmackDown, of course, taking place Friday night. So got a lot going on, NXT, TNA crossovers. I'm excited for it. I think a lot of us are excited for the mere fact that, we've wanted Moose on NXT for a while now, or at least even on the main roster. Moose has wanted to be on the main roster since Roman was champion a couple of years ago, so to cross over before TNA was ever crossing that line. So, the fact that Oba Femi and Moose opened up last night's show of NXT face-to-face was pretty awesome. And they didn't even need to exchange words. They only exchanged maybe 40, 50 seconds worth of back and forth, but that was about it. And that's all we needed. That's all we needed between Oba and Moose. So that's going to be fun. Whenever that match is to take place, whether it is on a TNA show, whether it is on an NXT show, I'm excited for it either way. Of course, I don't expect any titles to change hands. If the X Division title, which that personalized belt is beautiful, that new belt Moose got, and Oba Femi's championship, I don't expect that to be on the line. But if it is, I don't think, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Cal, doing pretty good, man. How we doing? Thank you, Vintage. One day at a time, bro. Thank you. Am I going to be on this Friday? Yes. My next live review for a show will be Friday Night SmackDown. So I'll see you guys immediately following SmackDown. I think SmackDown's card right now is looking something like Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy Uso, and I think DIY is defending their tag titles against Pretty Deadly. I think those are the only two matches slated as it stands right now. Now, for the TNA fans in here, which, again, even if you're not a TNA fan through and through, you might want to watch, even if you watch NXT, with the back and forth crossovers. But I know tomorrow night, a live episode of TNA Impact in Orlando, Florida, home of NXT, we're liable to see one or two people cross over from NXT. So we have a to be announced match versus Tessa Blanchard. Then we have Leon Slater versus JDC, aka Fandango, who we saw on NXT a couple times recently. And then no DQ match. Formerly known as, what was it, Xia Li. That was her name, right? On NXT or main roster. She's now with TNA, right? So Li Ying Li, I believe was her name. So she goes up against Rosemary. And then the Rascals are going up against the tag team from NXT tomorrow. Tyreek and Tyson. So it should be fun. I'm sure we'll get a bunch of surprises as well. Let's see. Was it Moose that we're leaving us for? What are you saying, Cal, as far as the goons and stuff like that? That new squad's going to be very interesting with those four. I don't think Moose had anything to do with those new four gentlemen that are on NXT now. That were, we saw them at Vengeance Day. They closed out the show last night on NXT. I'm curious. We know who the four men are. They revealed themselves on social media over the weekend. But hoping that KO, with the help of Sami Zayn, love TNA. TNA's good. I think Oba's going to show up. Yeah, I think Oba's going to show up too, Rachel. Show up immediately on TNA territory. They got to have a couple big ones, especially because it's in Orlando. You know what I mean? As we were discussing earlier. So, Fries, what's up? How we doing? I'm starting to become a fan of Ethan Page. Yeah. I've always been indifferent to Ethan. I've liked him. I've had no reason not to like him, but I can't say I'm a big super fan of Ethan Page either. I'm happy for his body transformation in the last couple of years. I'm glad that he left AEW, or they reduced him to Ring of Honor, basically. He made a executive decision, made his way to NXT. Best decision he ever could have made, right? I mean, look at these guys that are making their way from AEW or TNA over to WWE. I think Ethan Page won the title in his third or fourth match, just like Motor City won the tag titles in their third match, I believe, on their second night. Crazy. So good for all those guys, man. Especially guys that have been putting in work over the years. Doing pretty good, Fries. Doing pretty good, Aiden. Guys, again, hit that thumbs up button. You make your way in here. All I ask for you, I try to get to everybody's comments throughout, regardless what show, what promotion you guys want to talk about. Just hit that like button. It don't cost you nothing. Again, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Again, still a little under the weather, so bear with me. What do you think about them changing Ricky Stark's name to Ricky? Well, to Ricky Saints, not Ricky Stinks. It's going to take a little while to get used to. And I believe he's from New Orleans, right? So it makes sense. The Saints thing's kind of cool. Outside of that, I thought the name, like many said, Ricky Saint, would have rolled off a little better initially. But like anything else, if we got used to Braun Breaker and many other names that took some time and that was a little questionable in the beginning, I think we'll get used to Ricky Saints, where it's only the last name that's changed. So at least it's not completely different. Because after he debuted last week and they didn't mention his name, Ricky Starks, at all, I said, oh, they're going to give him a brand new name, start to finish, whether it's a single name or two names. But they kept the Ricky part, which is good. And it starts with an S. It's just not Starks, it's Saints. So it is what it is. Was a little surprised. Looks like Hangman's turning face. Yeah, it looks like he's coming back to face, Rachel, which, I hope it's like a slow burn face, because kind of like Roman, right? Your boy Roman. I like how Roman's basically face now and beloved, but at the same time, he's still got that tweener ability. He's not the big dog again or nothing like that. And so I think with Hangman Adam Page, they got to be very careful, because what we've seen from him the last year and a half, what really spun him into this heel craze was the feud with Swerve Strickland, right? When that feud started, Swerve was the heel and Hangman was the face. And when it culminated, Swerve became the face somehow, and Hangman became the heel. Similar stories you'd see on WWE with Drew and KO, like, I'm really the good guy, but they're the heels. That said, if Hangman is coming back to babyface territory, they need to keep him in a tweener. I don't want him to completely be a nice guy. He said a lot of nice words about Christopher Daniels, defended him with MJF tonight, but at the same time, I don't want him to be super babyface. He could be a good guy and align himself with the babyfaces, but at the same time, still keep that badassery, you know what I mean? And not completely be a full-blown good dude. Brown Breaker. I got to give Braun Breaker his props, man. I can't say I'm not the craziest about the name, although I've gotten used to it a little bit the last 3 or 4 years. He's done a great job on the main roster. So, does he cut a decent promo? Sure. I'm not crazy about him character wise, but I mean, in ring, I can't dispute it. He's pretty much got the best looking spear in all the pro wrestling right now, and I love Roman, and obviously, the far Breaker's spear far surpasses Edge or Cope at this stage of his career as well. But um, I think Breaker's doing a phenomenal job. So I've been seeing rumors that we're going to get Braun Breaker versus AJ Styles. Yeah, look, they've teased it the last couple weeks, Cal. If we're getting AJ Styles and Braun Breaker, I'm okay with it, man. Again, a few of us talked last week, I believe, in here or on my TikTok live, if they had a triple threat or a fatal four and they wanted to do Styles, Breaker, Penta, and maybe a Dom, Mysterio, or a Sheamus, I'd be open to that too. I was thinking, could you see Roman return at Chamber next Saturday, going after Seth? Could we see Orton? Yeah, I mean, if we're looking towards Orton and KO at Mania, and if we're looking towards Roman and Seth possibly at Mania, and then that maybe eventually, a lot of us may want Cena to win or think he's going to win, and maybe me and you, Rach, um, this could open up the door to, Roman costing Seth the opportunity at Chamber somehow, leading to their Mania match. Same with KO and Randy. Randy costing KO the match against Sammy, and you know, with CM Punk, CM Punk I feel like it's going to come down to Cena and Punk. I really do, and who knows? I could easily see Cena coming up short again. I could see him coming up short, just like he made it to the final two of the Rumble, lost to Jey Uso. I could see him coming up short again, and obviously that leading to Cena. What's next? Not only when will he ever get a title shot, if ever, but how's he going to forge his way to WrestleMania? What's supposed to be his final WrestleMania at that. So he's going to be sitting in the crowd. So we'll see what happens, man. But I'm really curious, really excited as to what's going to happen there. I honestly enjoy when Braun Breaker spear Dominic Mysterio. Sure. Yeah, me too. That was pretty good. Cena for King of the Ring. I like that. Watchman. Yeah, Cena King of the Ring will be cool. Cena Mr. Money in the Bank. I'll take either of those, man. Whichever way is going to eventually get him to a title opportunity. Obviously the fairy tale story is Cena getting a title match at Mania and then winning it, right? But I don't think it's going to go that smooth. Not just because it's Cena and this redemption arc, but I feel like it's also too early in the year too. Um, I'm not saying he's going to, if he does win it, I'm not saying he's going to win it on his last night with the company, but I feel like they might be moving into the second half of the year where he may go on and get that title opportunity or title victory at that. So you want Cena? I hear you. I'm kind of leaning towards Cena as well, Cal. I love Cena, but I think it's too early for 17. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. No, you're not wrong at all, Rachel. I'd love to see Cena. Um, I'd love to see Cena get the match, right? Against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Now, look, if it is Cody Cena, I still think, as I voiced the last couple of weeks, ever since Jey Uso picked Gunther for the champion to go up against him for WrestleMania, I said I would have liked Cena versus Gunther with Cena winning it, right? But now with it potentially being, obviously, whoever wins the Chamber goes up against Cody Rhodes, now I'm not so sure that Cena or anybody else may be the one to take down Cody Rhodes. I feel like Cody's going to win at Mania regardless, pretty much. Um, and I think it comes down to one or two guys he wrestles at Mania. I think it comes down to Cena or Punk. He's not going to wrestle Drew. I think that'd be fun, but I don't see that happening. He's going to wrestle Drew. I don't think he gets a rematch with Roman this early on. You may say, "What do you mean? It's been a year," but I don't think that happens. I don't see. I don't see Cody and Seth having another Mania match where Cody returned 3 years ago at 38, and where Cody got his first win back against Seth. Went 3-0 against Seth. He beat the guy like a drum. He beat him at WrestleMania 38. He beat him at Backlash, and then he beat him at Hell in a Cell with a torn pec. As Seth went out there and dressed as Dusty Rhodes cosplay. So let's see here. Cena deserves it. I hear you, Cal. Look, as long as Cena gets 17 before his career is done this coming December, I think we'll be all right. Sorry to any Gunther fans, but Jey Uso is winning. Sure. Yeah, I'd be very surprised to see Jey Uso lose. I like Gunther. I respect him. He's not somebody I outwardly cheer, but I appreciate Gunther. But I would be very surprised if Jey Uso did not win. Now I'm a dream world, but both Jey and Cena. Yeah, so Rachel, I was just going to get to that. Mr. Happy, bro. Why not Brock Lesnar return WWE? Yeah, he's got some allegations going on, and honestly, since Vince isn't in charge anymore, I feel like Brock could just give care less. Brock was a huge Vince guy. Take that as you may, and with Vince no longer at the helm, um, quite frankly, it's just it may not be very desirable for him to return right now. So obviously, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes as well, but I don't know. There's a lot of controversies with Brock. Will he come back someday? I could see it anytime soon. If he were to hang it up and never have wrestled again, I could also see that too for Brock. Yeet, yeah, what's up there, Cal? So, but anyway, Rachel, getting to your comment, Jay and Cena both winning, right? At Mania sounds great. But again, I don't see Cena beating Cody if that's the case. I see him putting Cody over. So the only way I saw Cena winning at Mania was if he was going to face Gunther, and that's not happening because Jay's facing him. So again, if Cody retains, I feel like the other champion, which is Gunther, which so happens to be going up against Jey Uso, I feel like Jay's going to win, man. So Ricky Starks has his first match next week. Yes, he does. He does have his first match against Wes Lee, right, Cal? Guys, appreciate the likes. Please hit that the thumbs up, rather, when you get in here. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Every one of you guys count. Thank you for being here, spending your Wednesday night or whatnot with me. Now, let's move forward here. We're going to talk a little bit about Impact tomorrow night. Okay, we're going to talk Impact, SmackDown, then we'll talk Chamber and Revolution for all the WWE and AEW fans. I do think Jay will win, though. I do think so too, Rachel. I do think so too. Now, do any of you in here watch TNA? Because it's very rare that you get a live episode out of them, and I'm fairly certain they're filming live tomorrow night out of Orlando, Florida, which also happens to be the home of NXT, which they also happen to be having a partnership with right now. As you've seen many NXT, TNA talents on both shows. Tuesday night, we saw at the start of the show, Moose confront NXT champion Obafemi, which is cool. We also got to see Jordynne Grace, right, wrestle in a 6-woman tag match at the end of the show. Now, Jordynne Grace, she's officially with NXT, so she's no longer crossing over, right? There's a few others, I believe. Obviously, Ricky Starks signed his contract, or Ricky Saints, as you mentioned in the chat. He has his first match next week against Wes Lee. And so I believe tomorrow night on TNA Impact, we're probably going to see maybe Moose show up, and who knows who else. So we have a tag match, the Rascals versus Tyreek and Tyson of NXT, formerly known as Xia Li from WWE, going up against Rosemary. Leon Slater versus JDC. Again, that's Fandango now in the system, the Moose's faction. And Tessa Blanchard versus to be announced. So I feel as if we're going to get Tessa Blanchard versus somebody from NXT, if I would have had to guess. So if I had to guess, Tessa Blanchard's going to go up against somebody from NXT and win. Usually more times than not, whether somebody comes from TNA to NXT or NXT to TNA, the home team typically wins. And I get it. Home cooking, home booking, call it what you want. It's nice just to see different talent from different companies on these shows. So it's cool. So I'm just super curious, assuming Tessa's going to go up against some kind of a baby face from the NXT Women's Division tomorrow night. I wonder who. Feel free to drop it in the comments. If you know the NXT Women's Division that well, who do you think's going to go up against Tessa in that singles match? So, let's see. I've been trying to get back into it. Okay, I hear you, Rach. I'm right there with you. It's a lot of pro wrestling to keep up with, as we always discuss. So that's the card for tomorrow night. And as we talked about Friday night SmackDown, and as far as that card is concerned, I think there's only 2 matches scheduled at the moment. I could be wrong, but I think that's all I see here. Drew McIntyre versus Jimmy Uso. They're going one-on-one Friday night. And then we have DIYs, Gargano and Ciampa going up against Pretty Deadly, Elton Prince, Kit Wilson for the WWE Tag Team Championships. And it's funny because, for Pretty Deadly, the last month and a half, they've been allies. They've been helping out DIY, and DIY hasn't really been helping them out all that much. They've been basically just getting in their head, manipulating them to use them in the best way possible for their own personal gain. But this should be interesting. So those are 2 matches scheduled. Again, I think that's all we got for SmackDown Friday night. And so let's talk a little bit about Elimination Chamber, shall we? Let's talk a little bit about WWE Elimination Chamber taking place March 1st, Toronto, Canada, at the Rogers Center. Now, as it stands at this very moment, guys, we got 4 matches officially scheduled. We'll probably get 5, 6, you know the deal. Typically, it's what we've been seeing under the Triple H era the last couple of years. So as far as this past Monday was concerned, we squared away the sixth and final spot for the men. For the women, we'll talk about that. We'll break that down in a minute. And then we have a tag team match, which I was very intrigued by. We found out last Friday on SmackDown, I believe it was. That was made official. Tiffany Stratton, Trish Stratus versus Nia Jax, Candice LeRae. That's cool. And then now we got an unsanctioned match that was also made official Monday on Raw too. So they squared away a lot of things on Raw this past week. Sami Zayn versus KO, the feud that never ends, the fight forever type of situation. Rachel says, hopefully we get more between Jacob and Solo. I know they're going to face each other at WrestleMania. Yeah, I would be led to believe so, Rachel, that we got to get Jacob versus Solo at WrestleMania. It's got to happen, right? It's got to happen. Got to get that singles contest between the two. I'm excited for it. And look, it's only been one episode since Solo had returned last Friday, obviously on SmackDown, as we discussed after the show. And incredibly curious how this is going to go. Yeah, I know it ain't going to go good in the sense for Solo's sake. But man, Jacob wanted no part of Solo Sikoa last Friday on SmackDown. He didn't want to hear anything, see anything. He looked at him like, you abandoned us. You're a failure. You know, you lost the Tribal Combat on January 6th. You lost the Ulafala. You lost back at War Games, November 30th, right, in Vancouver. So I no longer acknowledge you, and he no longer loves him. Even Solo said to Jacob the other day, he goes, I love you, Jacob, but it's too little too late. You know, it's like you're in a relationship and you fall out of love with a person or whatever, you ask for a break, and now you're trying to get them back, and it's over now. It's over. Time has passed. That ship has sailed. So DIY, you like DIY for Friday Night, Cal? Good thing I don't have to see the New Day. I guess the Solo's going to be their baby face. Yeah, I'd be led to believe so by default, Rachel, by default. Kind of like when we saw MJF and Hangman tonight. That feud alone, by default, Hangman becomes babyface. And we'll see going out of that feud with Hangman and MJF, assuming like we discussed 10 minutes ago, that Hangman inevitably will be leaning towards the babyface side, even if it's not full-fledged, which I hope not. I think that's what hurt him during his first run, especially as champion. Hangman full-blown babyface is kind of boring to me. You know, him as a heel the last year was phenomenal. All the things he did that MJF went on the list tonight, setting Swerve's House ablaze and all that stuff. So, so that's that. So we're gonna start off with probably the topic most people want to talk about most about Elimination Chamber that's set up right now is the men's, right? The men's Elimination Chamber match where we'll discuss all 6 contestants and who you guys, you ladies and gentlemen, think has the most likely of scenarios to win. So. In the meantime, guys, well, I just take 30 seconds to myself. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that thumbs up if you just got in here. Also, subscribe. If you're new here, Mondays and Fridays, I'm on here for a full review of Raw and SmackDown. Sorry to those that were looking out for me the other day. I was not on Monday. As you can probably hear, I was very sick. But Friday night SmackDown, I will be back for a full review after this week's show. Punk on Elimination Chamber call in his favor and have Roman Reigns cause Seth this chance. Okay, all right. WWE fan, welcome. If you're new here, be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Love to have you. I was sharing very similar sentiments a few minutes ago. I think I didn't mention the favor, but I was alluding to Roman interfering in regards to taking out Seth, sparking their match for Mania, and again helping Punk, at least narrowing it down to the final 2, maybe Punk and Cena or whatever. And who knows, man? As much as I'd love to see Cena get the win, I think Punk may walk out the chamber victorious. So. I do not have Seth Rollins winning now. I don't think many people do, Cal. I don't think many people do. And not just because, well, maybe because Cena's a favorite or Punk is a favorite, one of those 4-letter words. But I don't think the 4-letter word coming to many people's mind, the 4-letter word being Seth, you know. There's too many variables that could go on here. So we soon shall see. Guts saying Cena. I love that, Rach. You know, I'm going to wait till the last hour to pick who I'm officially going with, but who I've been going with since he didn't win the Rumble, which I didn't think he would anyway, I've been leaning towards John Cena. But you guys drop in the chat. Who do you think is going to win the Elimination Chamber for the men? Think John Cena gets it done, goes to Mania against Cody Rhodes for that undisputed WWE Championship? John Cena, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, who I haven't mentioned. I haven't mentioned much of Logan Paul and Damian Priest. They probably have the least likely of odds of winning, right? Let's be honest. And it's Seth freaking Rollins. So however way you want to slice it, you know, Priest and Logan have the least likely opportunity of winning this match. Then you could argue maybe Drew or Seth. Then obviously Punk and Cena are the 2 favorites to obviously get the victory here. Punk will win because I don't know how they can put Punk and Seth Rollins. Yeah, I hear you. And they've been talking the internet, and you know how rumors spread, right? The last couple of weeks about inserting Punk in a Roman Rollins feud, which would work, or inserting Punk somehow in a Cena Cody feud if Cena were to win it. I don't know how that all would quite work. Could I see Punk in any of these triple threat capacities? Perhaps I could. But I don't know, man. I think it's going to be very clear cut that either Punk wins the Chamber or Cena wins it, and that's that. And again, if it's Cena Cody, I think Cody retains. I feel like Cody's probably going to retain regardless at Mania. But if it's Cody Punk, I don't know. Then maybe Punk does get it done. But if it's Cody Cena, I feel as if Cody's going to win that match. But we'll see. I think Cena's. I hate to say it, man. Because I've been saying it for weeks. I think Cena might come out with the Chamber win. I don't think Cena, as we draw nearer, I don't think Cena's going to win the Chamber. Childhood hero of yours, Cal. All right, Logan Paul has no chance of winning. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't be mad if Drew won. I wouldn't be mad if Drew won either, Rachel. I know that it's very unlikely that he'll win just based upon the Cena Punk favoritism, right? For justified or not. But that being said, I mean, Drew Cody would be great. Sign me up for a Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes tag team. I'm thinking they used to be tag team champions way back when, right? But set them up for a WWE Championship match at Mania? Sure, I wouldn't be mad at that. If I mean, okay, let's see. Do you think we could see Carmelo Hayes ever winning a Royal Rumble? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. Now, when, Cal? I don't know. I don't got my crystal ball in front of me, brother, but I'll tell you what. Carmelo Hayes, I know a lot's been said about how he's been booked or not pushed like he was on NXT, because you got to face it. Carmelo Hayes came out the gate hot on NXT in 2020, 2021, winning the breakout tournament, right? The first ever men's breakout tournament. A two-time North American champion. He won the NXT championship at least once. When his first title, when he won the North American title, I believe that's when he beat Swerve Scott, right? Isaiah Swerve Scott, aka now Swerve Strickland. Melo had an amazing run in NXT. There's not much to really scoff at. Now, coming to the main roster, it's different. But look, the guy was still drafted #1 last May to SmackDown. Fought Cody Rhodes his very first night to main event SmackDown. And even though he took a fair amount of losses in 2024, I mean, let's look at who he was going up against. He had a fantastic feud late in 2024, best of 5, best of 7 series with Andrade. Could have been argued that Andrade or Melo could have won that U.S. title over Nakamura nonetheless, rather than what I say, Melo or Andrade instead of Nakamura defeating LA Knight at what was that, Survivor Series. So hey, man, Melo's going to be just fine. And again, back to your comment, Cal. I don't know what year. We may be talking 2027, but believe you me, Melo will win a Rumble or a Chamber at some point, probably within the next 3 to 4 years. Without question. Drew deserves a big win. Sure. I was glad that I was there to witness Drew winning the title in front of, at WrestleMania 40, even though it was just a matter of moments, right? A couple minutes until he was cashed in and distracted by Punk, cashed in by Priest, which I was shocked at. But I was glad that Drew, who won the title during the COVID era in 2020 against Brock, with no fans there, as a babyface, it was a little different. I'm glad that Drew was able to get that initial win in front of a big crowd at WrestleMania 40, then just to be cashed in on successfully moments later. So that was kind of tough. But yeah, Drew would deserve a nice win there. I can't believe Ricochet made Prince not cry. Yeah, man. Cold-blooded Ricochet these days, right? For the Women Eliminated Chamber, I got Alexa Bliss winning. Yeah, we're going to talk about that one in a minute there, WWE fan. No one knows she's going to win and shock the world. Hey, look, I'm not opposed to that. Do I have her winning? No. Do I think it's a little more open than the men's? Yes, I do. I mean, a lot of people may say it's a straight shot for Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley, and I get that, and I'd be excited for that. But we'll see. I don't think as good as their feud is. I thought it was fun over the last year or so. Dates back to way back when, right? They're always injuring one another backstage or somewhere. Liv Morgan Rhea, it served its purpose. No need to see it again. We don't need to see Liv Rhea Part 10 at WrestleMania 41. We don't. So I'm eliminating that. Roxanne Perez punched her ticket the other night against Raquel. 6th and final ticket. She was the Iron Woman of the Royal Rumble this year. God bless her. But Liv ain't winning it. Roxanne ain't winning it. You say Alexa, I'm not opposed to it. Alexa just returned 3 weeks ago. If she goes on and wins the Chamber, God bless her. That's awesome. I'm going to say I don't see Alexa winning it. So I'm trying to do process of elimination in my mind, not even who I necessarily want. Bayley, love her. She won the Rumble last year, beat Io, won the title at Mania last year. Don't see her winning. So that brings it down to the tag team champions, Bianca and Naomi. Love Naomi. Would love for Naomi to win this. I don't see Naomi winning it either. So that being said, via process of elimination, I'm thinking Bianca Belair wins this. And I think this is a good year to give us Bianca and Rhea at Mania. I really do. Now, a lot's going to factor in. Could be as early as this coming Monday, right? The tag team titles are defended. Liv and Raquel go up against Naomi and Bianca. Now, I want Naomi and Bianca to have a very lengthy title reign. I do. I enjoy them. They enjoy one another's company, seemingly. I feel like any day now, Liv and Raquel are going to dethrone them. And it could be because Jade coming back. So, you know, the biggest thing here is, when are we going to get that clarity of when Jade comes back, the trajectory of where the hell is that story really going after 3 months with Jade, with Naomi, with Bianca, who did it? And then, you know, again, it depends. Will we find out this whole full-fledged story before March 1st, before Elimination Chamber? Or is it going to begin to unfold and unravel after that, depending upon who comes out? So, again, right now, if I had to pick, I'm probably going to go with Bianca winning the Chamber. But we'll see. Maybe we'll be surprised, like a few of you said. So I'm going to get to the comments in a minute. Dominic Mysterio, how we doing, my friend? Yes, of course, we love Dirty Dom. Be sure to hit that thumbs up, guys. Hit that thumbs up button when you make your way in here, please. All I ask, as well as to hit the subscribe button. I'm on here Mondays and Fridays for certain, following Raw and SmackDown full review of the show. Then, of course, like tonight, whenever I can, I try to pop on here and just chop it up. All things pro wrestling. WWE, AEW, TNA, little NXT, you name it. We like to discuss all kinds of different stuff, right? So let's see here. I can't believe I'm saying this. Don't tell Miss J, but if it came down to Punk and Rollins, I'd root for Punk because I don't think that's what he did to my man. Hey, Rachel, that's valid. That's valid. Has Carmelo Hayes been on any other pay-per-view besides the Royal Rumble? You know, Cal, it's a good question. I don't think I have seen him featured on a main roster pay-per-view. I'm spitting all over the place. I don't think I've seen Melo on a main roster pay-per-view. Come to think of it. Dirty Dom in the chat. Yeah, guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up, all right? Hit the like button, and as well, hit that subscribe button as well. Again, Mondays, Fridays after Raw and SmackDown, you'll catch me here for sure. Thank you for joining me tonight. So again, we talked the men's elimination chamber. We talked the women's elimination chamber for a minute there. And so let's go to match number 3 here. Let's go to match number 3. We're going to talk about this tag team match. This is more of a fun thing that was made official last Friday on SmackDown, right? Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus, right? The TS connection, going up against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. Now, I'd be very hard-pressed to believe that Trish is going to lose this match, not just in Canada, but her hometown of Toronto. I mean, come on. I believe the last time Trish, at least in a pay-per-view sense, maybe she's wrestled in Toronto on an episode of Raw or something, but Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair, right? SummerSlam 2019. That was, again, in her hometown of Toronto. So I like the fact that, you know, whenever they're in Toronto, especially for a PLE, they try to bring Trish aboard. I appreciate that. Trish looks great, man. She looked great at the Rumble. She was looking nice in the crowd the other night. And, hey, we're going to get Stratton and Stratus. That should be fun. I would assume they're going to beat Nia and Candice for sure. But that should be a fun one. Let's see. I really want Alexa to win, but I think the Belair are winning. Yeah, I do believe Belair wins, Rachel. Again, I'd be very thrilled and happy for Alexa for sure. Don't get me wrong. But I think the mystique of a pay-per-view like a Mania, I just don't see how you could pass up the opportunity if you know, Io, who I wanted to be Rumble winner, or even in this match, right? I wanted Io Rhea from Jump Street. We all knew we were getting Charlotte and Tiffany in some capacity, right? Whether Charlotte won. If Charlotte didn't win the Rumble, we knew Charlotte was going to win Chamber. We knew it. The Queen was not going to lose both. So we knew that match was a foregone conclusion. I wanted this year, you know, Io and Rhea. I thought Bianca was too sidetracked with Jade and being a tag team champion and all that. So, you know, that's what leads me to believe that I feel like Bianca and Naomi are going to lose the tag titles any day now. Because of A, Jade coming back, right, any moment now. And B, you know, Bianca being now, you know, dropping the tag title, can be fully immersed and focused on going up against Rhea if she is to, of course, win the Elimination Chamber match, right? And have her sights set on singles gold for the first time in well over a year, at least, right? So I think the last time she held singles gold was what, SummerSlam 2023 in Detroit, when Io actually, ironically enough, speaking of Io, when Io cashed in on her, right? After Bianca beat Asuka, and that's how that went. So ironically enough, you know, that's why I think you don't pass up Bianca and Rhea this year. Again, another match that we've a lot of people have been clamoring about over the last couple of years is Bianca and Charlotte. Now we could get Bianca Charlotte as early as next year, but I think this year I would do Bianca and Rhea. So let's see. Who do you got in the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match? Yeah, we're going to get to that next, Cal. KO, Sammy, you got KO. Okay. I don't trust Trish. She's going to betray Tiffany like she did to Becky. Interesting. Interesting. She's going to betray Tiffany like she did Becky, and she's going to leave us wondering and asking why, just like the last letter on both of their names, man. So we'll see. Hey, can you talk to fans? What do you mean by that, Dom? What do you mean by that, Dominic Mysterio? There will be nothing that will never stop me from liking Kevin Owens. All right, fair enough. I know you're a big KO guy. I like the Tiffy and Trish team. Yeah, I do too. I do. For sure, guys, hit that thumbs up button. Hit that like button again. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you for spending your very late Wednesday, early Thursday with me on this review. Appreciate all the subs, guys. So, believe me, I get the notifications right here on my desktop. So I see all you guys. So thank you. I got at least 3 or 4 during this last half hour. So thank you. I see each and every one of you. See each and everybody who's liking the live. So thank you so much. So let's talk about this 4th match that's scheduled. And we'll get down to business there. So we got this 4th one. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. I mean, these two have been going at it way before their WWE days. I mean, we're talking way before NXT, even Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, where PWG, obviously, which they shouted them out on their ring gear when they won WrestleMania 39's main event, night 1, when they beat the Usos, right? Being out there back in Cali yet again. So look, this feud goes way back to Kevin Steen, El Generico. If you know, you know, right? See my voice, I'm losing it. A little sick. So, ain't nothing but a Google search between these two guys, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. But this match, Adam Pearce the other night refused to Sami Zayn to book this match. And I loved how, Adam Pearce kept referencing to Sami. And if Kevin Owens does this and brings you out here and does this and that to you. And I loved how Sami came all the way down the aisleway, got right in Adam Pearce's face, and then countered with those same words that Adam uttered, but him doing it to Kevin Owens. I thought that was great. So, I'm excited for this match. It was, usually, and Adam Pearce, man, I'm a big Nick Aldis guy. I think he's been doing a phenomenal job the last 2 years, SmackDown GM. But I got to give credit where credit's due. Adam Pearce, especially since Aldis has been in office the last couple of years, Adam Pearce has really stepped it up. He's gotten so much better at what he does and really taken on that prominent role, much less a pushover now. So, I believe in Adam Pearce. Like everybody believes in Joe Hendry, I'm believing in Adam Pearce. And so Adam Pearce said, look, I cannot make this match official, as he always would say. That's his tagline, and that is official. He said, but this match is unsanctioned. So I'm very excited for this. I am very excited for this match. Who the hell knows what's going to happen in their home country of Canada? You know it's going to be fun. Now, this is a match that I thought we were going to get at WrestleMania, but it makes sense. Do it in Canada, especially if they're going to be leaning in towards Kevin Owens and Randy Orton for a WrestleMania match, obviously. That begs the question. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves on the road to WrestleMania. That then begs the question, if we're going to Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton on the road to WrestleMania, what does that leave for Sami Zayn? And like Cal said, I'm kind of leaning towards KO getting the win here as well. I would love for Sami to win. I'm a little more of a, I love them both. But in this particular instance, I've always been a big babyface guy my whole life. I kind of would like Sami to win. But look, if KO wins, great. Good momentum going into a potential Randy Orton feud at WrestleMania. So we got something here. But let me check the chat out here. Let's go KO. Thank you, Cal. Appreciate that, man. I want Sami to win, but the only way I think he wins is if Randy returns. I'm right there with you, Rachel. Yeah, I'm thinking KO wins, again, for a variety of reasons, especially if it's going to give him that momentum going into WrestleMania, especially if he's going to feud with Randy Orton. You know what I mean? Honestly, I knew Kevin Owens was going to be betray Sami Zayn sooner than... Yeah, we all know KO's been fed up for a while, man. Well, we all knew all bets were off once KO turned on Cody right after Bad Blood back in October. God, I can't believe that's been better part of 4 months ago already. But, and he said in that car interview with Michael Cole a couple months ago, he's like, right now my focus, my attention is on Cody Rhodes, and I will get to Sami Zayn when the time is right. And so he did that 3 or 4 weeks ago, and the rest is history, right? Especially Saturday Night's main event. Correct, Cal. I got Sami, then Kevin crashed out, and then Drew and Seth crashed out for losing, and then... Yeah, I mean, Fan 31 very well could be a likely scenario as well. People have been... I think a lot of people want to see that. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing that either. A lot of people have been clamoring for that since December, right? At least. See, especially when we first saw Seth with some heel tendencies, right? Getting fed up about War Games and how that went, and Punk joining them and stuff, taking the spot that Sammy wanted Seth to get for weeks, but Seth declined because he said, "I'm not aligning myself with Roman Reigns just so he could get back to this level of hierarchy again," right? Um, but I get that, KO losing, crashing out, sure, or Drew and Seth and all them continually losing, sure. Then having this faction of sorts, I think it's a fun possibility. I think it's a fun possibility. Now, I think you could still do that with KO beating Sammy, but then KO losing at Mania against the likes of a Randy Orton, and then just really amp that up after Mania, going into their new season, as they usually call it. So we'll soon see. Think we will get both Reigns and Orton return next Saturday. Okay. All right, Rach. The two people that I know that KO hates is Cody and Roman. Yes, he does. He does for good reason. For good reason. A lot of people would agree with him too, I know you do, Cal. I know you got his back. Appreciate the thumbs up, guys. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. And again, thank you for the new subscribers that I got on the channel tonight. Appreciate you guys greatly. And again, thank you for the commentary. It's been a fun, 40 minutes or so. So that was collectively Elimination Chamber as it stands now. I'll discuss this once or twice more in the coming weeks on a week-to-week basis to see what's added, to see if there's any changes in my thoughts and your thoughts of where things stand. But I'm pretty firmly standing with the picks of Bianca for the women. I'm going to go with Tiffany and Trish to win that tag match. Love Sammy, leaning towards KO. And as far as the men's chamber match, man, I don't know. My heart is saying John Cena, but my brain is saying CM Punk. But we'll see. We got some time. What is it? We got it. Well, it's a lot closer than we think. February, it's the shortest month of the year, right? So only got about a little over a week and a half, if so. So we'll get to it. You got Roman back. Okay, has KO ever fought Miz? Yeah, I'm fairly certain, Cal. They've had to have some kind of IC title matches, right? Whether Miz was champ or KO was champ at the time, I would assume so. My favorite KO match is. What is it, Cal? Let us know, man. Again, guys, thank you for everybody hitting that subscribe button. Hit that like button when you make your way in here as well. Thank you for spending your Wednesday night with me. We just talked Elimination Chamber. We talked a little bit looking ahead to TNA Impact this Thursday night in Orlando. We'll probably see some NXT surprises, much like Obafemi and many others. We'll very likely see an NXT Women's surprise division over there. Tessa Blanchard going up against a to-be-announced opponent. And again, we spoke Friday Night SmackDown. Not a whole lot going on as far as scheduled matches as yet. A tag match and a singles match. But for those that watch AEW, I'm usually, most chats I'm in or videos I do, it's TikTok or YouTube. It's mainly a WWE collective crowd, and that's fine. As you can see through my memorabilia, I'm a big WWE guy myself. But look, I watched WCW back in the day. I could wear my AEW hoodies. So again, we're talking about all different promotions. I represent all different promotions. And so we're going to talk about the few matches that are scheduled as it stands now. Now, AEW Revolution is 1 week after Elimination Chamber. That is actually Chambers on the 1st. March 9th is AEW Revolution. And right now they have 4 matches on their card as well, not including their pre-show match, which I'm not going to talk about. And I'll tell you what, man, call it what you want. Of course, AEW lacks in certain categories. I'll be the first one to admit it. But one thing they are capable of doing is putting on a great pay-per-view. So we have Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher, former stablemate with him in Japan. Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis were Aussie Open for the United Empire, if you watched all the New Japan stuff. Ospreay Fletcher should be great. Now, I think as far as pay-per-view is concerned, I think this is their second match, at least on pay-per-view. I know their first one was Ospreay versus Fletcher at Full Gear here in Jersey back in November. I was there. I should remember. So that's going to be a good one. Of course, I'm pulling for Ospreay, but if Fletcher wins, I wouldn't be upset with that. Let's see. Gianna Forever, how we doing? I think we get a double pitfall with Punk and Cena. If we don't get that, I believe we see the Rocks Mountain. Interesting, Forever. I like that. Yeah, I mean, hey, man, I'm very curious as to how it's going to go. I mean, there's one of two options, right? It's either Cena or Punk, or like in your case, maybe both. But this is obviously where I do think, or one would assume that if Roman does return, maybe this is where he calls in that favor to Paul to secure the victory somehow. Maybe Roman takes out Seth or something. Or, Punk may make it out on his own somehow and maybe calls in that favor to Heyman at Mania or on the road. So I'm very curious with that caveat, man. Very curious. By the way, guys, hit that like button if you make your way in here. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel as well. Here Mondays and Fridays after Raw and SmackDown, full review of the show. Cal says, "Where's KO? When KO won the IC title? You talking about when he had the feud with the Miz we were discussing earlier? Glad Roxanne Perez is in the chamber too. Yeah, absolutely. I expect big things for her in 2025. I don't think she's going to have the year that Tiffany had last year, but at the same time, I do think she's going to have a notable year. I think at minimum, at absolute minimum, Roxanne Perez could start her way with some mid card gold, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's nothing to scoff at. I could see Roxanne Perez being the one to even dethrone Lyra Valkyria and be the workhorse for that IC title and really give it that notoriety it needs. So we'll see. That also depends if they continue to push Roxanne as a heel on the main roster on Raw like they have on NXT the last year and a half, or if they decide to put her back in a babyface role as when she debuted on NXT a couple of years ago. She was a babyface the first half of her tenure there. So which way will they go? Do you see Colt beating Mox? I'm going to get to that one in a little bit, Rachel. First, I want to talk MJF Hangman. Do you think Cora Jade is going to win any NXT title because the NXT women's roster is too good? Yeah, WWE fan, if I had to be a betting man, no. If they didn't sign the likes of Stephanie Vaquer and Julia and Zarya and all these others, probably. I wouldn't even say Cora for the NXT title. I would say maybe at minimum North American, right? I'll tell you what, man, it's not looking good for Cora. Not to say that she cannot flourish and do well on NXT as long as she stays healthy. Very injury prone like Nikita Lyons. They've just had rough luck, right? Both out on two separate occasions in the last couple of years for a lengthy amount of time. I believe they're both knee injuries too. Nonetheless, Cora, I don't think she's necessarily being overshadowed or surpassed. It's just the talent that's coming in is just that much better. Same goes for Nikita. Nikita was supposed to be a hot commodity a couple of years ago, much like Cora Jade too, and they're just being far surpassed. I mean, now you got freaking Jordan Grace. You got Jordan Grace joining the company a couple of days ago. You got Jordan Grace and Zarya, who don't have any gold right now. And then you have Stephanie Vaquer, who just won a North American off Fallon Henley. You have Julia, who's been champion for a month and a half. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. And so I don't know what Cora Jade, and that also doesn't mean put her on the main roster because that would do nothing for Cora at this standpoint. Cora needs to remain in NXT for the next year, whether she wins gold or not. And that's not a knock. That's just a fact of the matter. I almost sounded like LA Knight. Like that's just a fact of life. But that's just how it's got to be. That's just how it's got to be. So let me get to a couple comments here by Cal. This time of year, I believe that KO wins. Okay. Could the favor be a person to help Punk? Now, sure, Gianna Forever, it could be a person to help Punk. The only person I could see actually helping Punk is if, in some regard, Heyman says, hey, Roman, help Punk out because he helped us win Survivor Series. That's the only person I see helping Punk out. And solely based on because Heyman needed the favor. Because, again, Punk helped Roman and company. Other than that, I don't see anybody else jumping in that spot outside of Roman. The coolest, we got the Hardys in NXT as well. Yes, that's right. Yeah, we got the Hardys next week going up against the No Quarter Catch crew. And inevitably so, we'll probably see them go up against Fraxium. I know Jeff Hardy called them out as well. So, Moose for Asoba, that's going to cook as well, my friend. Yep, absolutely. Shout out to Shawn Michaels and company with them damn chef hats. Chef Michaels, right? Doing his thing. Who's a better heel, Kevin Owens or MJF? Personally, to me, I think MJF's a phenomenal heel, Cal. But as far as a heel that I enjoy, KO is more so my cup of tea. And I'm not just saying that because you're here. I'm not saying that because you're a KO super fan. And I say that in the best way possible. I'm saying that because KO is more my cup of tea. But I sure as hell respect MJF and all the work he's done. No Quarter Catch crew. Yeah, they're doing a good job, Cal. They've had a couple of revisions over the last couple of months. No, Drew Gulak and I forget, they got rid of who was the other guy? Damon Kemp. So they filled in some pieces good. Ren Sinclair has been a phenomenal addition. I think she's still with them, right? Ren Sinclair, A, them having a female in the group was great, and B, she's just so good at what she does, formerly known as Maddie Renkowski on the independent scene prior to joining NXT early last year. She's so good, man. Kevin Owens turns to people. It's one of my favorite. Yeah, well, Cal, and it's funny that we'll probably get KO and Randy at Mania, right? Because two guys we could always inevitably count on turning on, a baby face or their partner or whatever is KO and Randy. As much as they may be fun, enjoyable baby faces, we all know KO and Randy are best suited as heels. Come on. You already know that. So Speaking of MJF, and I know Rachel, we'll talk about Moxley and Cope in a minute here for that AEW World Championship, but MJF and Hangman Adam Page. Now, for those of you that watch AEW, like myself as well, again, I watch as much as I can here in the States. MJF versus Hangman, this should be a good one. I mean, no doubt about it. Obviously, if MJF wins this one, it's not going to be clean. We know that. So, could I see MJF win this? Absolutely. I would like to see, personally, I like Hangman more than MJF. I'd love to see Hangman get this win, especially if he's starting to slide into more of a new role. And especially because MJF was telling Hangman all these reasons as to why he's better than him tonight. And going into the company, he said Hangman had the luxury of being friends with the Bucks and being in the Bullet Club and with all these guys. And so kind of had a silver spoon where MJF said, yeah, I knew Cody to a point, but I came in here with my scarf and a microphone and that was it. So a lot of respect for MJF for the promo and the transparency he had during this. And Hangman knew a lot of it was legitimate, whether he got pissed off about it or not. So I thought that was good. But again, that said, I'd like to see Hangman get the win here, especially if he's going from full-fledged heel the last year into a tweener role, right? So we'll see how that goes. I think Randy's going to snap and cost Cena the chamber. We had Orton versus Cena. Look, forever, I'm not mad at that, man. I said this back in July. Rachel is my witness. When I used to do my TikTok lives all the time like I do here now. I didn't think Cena was going to be in contention for a title. He still may not, but especially not at Mania. And I said, look, if there's one guy that Cena could go up against, I don't care who's face, heel, whatever, I would love to see Randy Orton and John Cena go at it at WrestleMania 41. I think that'd be beautiful. I don't even care who wins. Just to see that on paper in 2025, and then obviously in the ring, but just to see that lead up too. How fun is that? Randy Orton versus John Cena at WrestleMania 41, 2025. That's huge. So, look, if that happens too, I ain't mad at that. Because that was my initial assumption, better part of 6-7 months ago when he announced that Money in the Bank that he was doing his farewell tour. So, look, I wouldn't mind that at all. Hope Hangman wins. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Rachel. Yeah, Gianna Forever. A lot of Hangman fans here. Myself. Golden Glove Roman versus Messiah Seth Rollins. Okay, all right. Yeah, everybody forgot about Randy Orton because he's been out for 3 months over that since the package pile driver. We'll see what happens, man. Whether it's Orton Cena, Orton KO, Orton's got to be on the Mania card as long as he's cleared. So that was done by design. Yes, we're not even close to next year, but I hope KO. That'd be cool, Cal. Let's see. The shock value when he turns will be crazy. Yeah, that would be something. That would be something. And forever to add to that, not just about him turning, but to who he turns on. And not in a good way. Not in a good way. Who he would be turning on. That being John Cena during his farewell tour, nonetheless. Randy Orton costing him that opportunity. A lot of reasons. At a match at Mania initially. A title to get to not just any title, but in pursuit to get to number 17. And get ahead of Ric Flair. Get ahead of the Nature Boys record. So we'll soon see, man. What is my favorite moment of KO? Great question, man. I guess one of my favorite moments for KO, probably, I have a lot, but was probably him initially getting his introductory match on Monday Night Raw against Cena during his United States Open Challenge. What was that, the spring of 2015, was it? I want to say it was the spring of 2015. But outside of that, even though he won in kind of a corrupt manner, the late summer 2016, that fatal four-way or whatever for the Universal Championship that Finn had to, give up because he got hurt by Seth. We all thought Seth was going to win. Triple H turned on Seth, and KO won the Universal title. I was very happy for KO winning that title. And look, that's the last time we saw him hold a major title in WWE outside of the Winged Eagle. It's the last month or two that he didn't actually win. So that would probably have to be that. I think we get Roman versus Solo versus Jacob in a blowout triple threat. Now, I think that's fun, but I don't think we see that. At least at WrestleMania. Could we get that down the line? Sure. Would that be fun? Absolutely. I want to see Roman and Jacob one-on-one. Just maybe at earliest SummerSlam. We'll see. We'll see. Personally, I'm more invested in Solo and Jacob right now. They got their score to settle. And I'll tell you what, WrestleMania is a lot closer than we think, folks. WrestleMania is exactly 2 months away, right? Exactly 2 months away. So, hey, just about the same time as, actually longer. From what Survivor Series was November 30th? So, yeah, man. Mania's going to be here in a flash. So, I want Solo Sikoa versus Jacob for 2. They got a score to settle, and that's going to be a lot of fun. What's your favorite KO? Funniest moment? You know, what was it with him and Jericho? What was it when it was him who turned on Jericho, right? The Festival of Friendship. Was that what that was? That was a lot of fun as well. That was a lot of fun as well. Which then led to their match at what? WrestleMania 32? Or no, 33 in Orlando. And then that was pretty much it for Jericho with WWE because he was pretty upset that what they were like match number 2 or 3 on the card. And so he was pretty much done with them at that point. WWE has something up their sleeves because the hype is as big as last year. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would say otherwise forever. A lot of people are thinking, it's lacking a lot, especially at this point. But, to be fair, man, we had the whole controversy this time last year. It was barely 10 days old at this point, maybe 15 days, where it was we want Cody, we want Rocky. Who's going to fight Roman for this title? Is it going to be a triple threat? There's so many variables going on. So like that alone, going into a milestone WrestleMania, not to mention all the other matches that were going on. Obviously, there's a couple disappointments. Punk got hurt, right? We couldn't get Seth Punk. We're all looking forward to that. At least a lot of us were. There was a lot of things that happened. So I don't think it's fair to compare it to last year, especially. I know a lot of people will, but I still think this build is pretty good. Is it as good as last year's? Not at this moment in time, but does it have the potential after Elimination Chamber? Does this Road to WrestleMania have the potential to be as good as last year's lead up? I think perhaps we might. What's going to happen if Bianca wins? If we get Bianca Rhea? What's going to happen with Cena? Will it be Cena Cody? Is it Punk Cody? Now is it Cena Orton? Is it KO Orton? I mean, there's a lot of things that could really heat up and stuff like that. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. And again, if Liv and Raquel take these tag titles off of Naomi and Bianca any day now, as early as next Monday on Raw when that match takes place, I mean, then what's the tag situation going to look like at Mania? That's the title they need to focus on. Let's really rev things up for these women in the U.S. and IC title division as well. We know Dakota Kai is the number 1 contender next week for Lyra, where they had the initial finals against each other. They seem to be on a similar trajectory as they are on SmackDown, right? How many times have we seen friggin' Chelsea Green defending against Misha in the last 2 months? Enough is enough. I love Misha, all right? Just like I love Dakota. But can we move forward? Can we move forward onto bigger and better things in the sense of, Dakota's new. This is her first match, but we've seen Misha have a couple of opportunities. I think she gets one more, another fair shot, because the last one was screwed up because of, I think, Piper or something like that. But can we move on to who's the next opponent? You know what I mean? Can we move on to something on the road to WrestleMania? And we'll see. But back to AEW. All right, we want to get to the last match that is scheduled at this moment in time. Rachel mentioned it about 15 minutes ago. AEW World Championship, formerly known as Edge. He has another 4-letter name now, Cope. First 4 letters of his last name, Adam Copeland. So we have Cope versus Jon Moxley. Or for those WWE fans, Dean Ambrose. Who, look, Moxley's done a great job at AEW. Some would say he's been the face of the company the last 4 or 5 years. He's brought them through some really hard times, and that they're still even going through to a point. But that said, I don't know, man. I would love this for Cope. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, Copeland also lost about 7-8 months of his career due to him injuring himself last year at Dynasty in April. Missing out at All In August and many other opportunities, having to vacate his TNT title. So that didn't go his way at all. So I don't know. I'm not going to say that. Is Cope the guy to dethrone Moxley? Yeah, he's more than capable of, regardless of his age, right? I just don't know if now's the time. But it's also like, if not now, when, right? Like, how long is Cope going to wrestle? How many opportunities is he really going to get at this world title? And when we know there's going to come a time, right? Things happened with the Hardys a couple years ago. We don't got to get into it with Jeff and all that. They were this close to winning the tag titles. That didn't happen in 2022. Not going to go into that. I don't see eventually them missing out on Christian and Edge, or Cope. Cope and Christian. It's weird to say it like that. I don't see them missing out on this Hall of Fame duo not getting at least one tag title reign before Edge and Christian are done in AEW. You know what I'm saying? They were this close to having the Hardys. Jeff screwed that up. They couldn't really book them back into the picture by the time Jeff showed up months later, 7-8 months after all the court stuff. So yeah, we got to see what happens there. What's up, Bryce? How we doing tonight, man? Get to the comments real quick, guys. Let's see. appreciate the thumbs up, guys. Hit that like button. Again, if you're new here, welcome. Hit the subscribe button as well. I'm here Mondays and Fridays, immediately following Raw and SmackDown full reviews of the show. Tonight, we're going to finish up in a little bit. We're talking a little bit about Elimination Chamber, which I finished up with, wrapping up, talking some AEW Revolution notes. We also talked about tomorrow night's Impact and Friday night's SmackDown as well. KO or MJF or OTC. Cal, with that, man, I got to go OTC all day, but I love your boy KO. Out of TNA and AEW, what company do you think Kevin Owens would do good at, and besides WWE? Cal, I think I think KO would be one of those guys that actually would be booked well in AEW. A lot of good and former WWE guys are not booked good over there, but I think KO would be a guy that thrives mainly because he has a great relationship with the Bucks. So I feel like the Young Bucks would make sure he gets booked good. So that's why I would say AEW over TNA. Had he had no connection there, then I'd probably say TNA. I love Cole, but I don't see Mox dropping. Yeah, I don't see either, Rachel. The only reason I think twice about it is because, how long is his tenure with the company? If and when will he get that opportunity to eventually get another world title shot? But yeah, I don't think it happens here. I don't think it happens here. Just seems very abrupt. Excuse me, losing my voice. Just seems very abrupt. You know what I mean? It seems very, very abrupt. Going good, Bryce. Getting over a little cold, man, as you guys could probably tell, but I'm hanging in there. Thank you, guys. Hit that thumbs up, guys. Hit the likes. Again, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I'm getting the notifications here. Thank you, guys. Glad all is well, Bryce. So that's that as far as I am concerned with AEW Revolution. So, I went over Chamber, Revolution, SmackDown, Impact. I'm going to leave this chat open to you guys for the next 10, 15 minutes. Probably going to wrap it up around 12:45. Okay, so going to wrap it up in about 15 minutes or so. So again, guys, do me a favor, hit that thumbs up, hit the like. Everyone counts, every subscription counts, subscribe. And I'm going to leave the chat open to you guys, so I'm going to get to some questions and comments. Thank you, Bryce. So we were talking about this earlier, of course. I know you just got in here. I could see Roman returning at Chamber if he's looking to go after Seth. Perhaps, as some mentioned in the chat as well. Maybe a favor called in by Punk via Heyman, maybe to help him with his Seth Rollins situation in that match. We'll see. But if we do see Reigns, it's because he's coming after Rollins, regardless whether Punk requested it or not. So that's what I could see happening there. Who's going to win Elimination Chamber? Siddharth, how we doing tonight, my friend? Be sure to hit that thumbs up, guys, and subscribe to the channel, all right? I am here every Monday and Friday after Raw and SmackDown full live review, and I pop on like today. But who do I think is going to win the Chamber? It's hard for me to say, As I said earlier, Siddharth, my heart's saying Cena, man, but my mind is saying CM Punk. So hopefully sometime between now and March 1st, I'm able to figure it out. I want to say Cena, but I don't know, man. I see major disappointment happening again, and he's going to have to continue to figure out how to get a title opportunity, not just to win the title, but to get the title opportunity to get the 17. Because a lot of us, the storybook ending would be winning it at Mania. How beautiful would that be? But here's the problem. It would have to be against Cody Rhodes, and that's another issue. It's one thing to get there. I think even if it is against Cody, which it would have to be because Jay picked Gunther, I don't see him beating Cody. As I mentioned a couple weeks ago with some of you guys, I think if Cena would have either won the Rumble first and would have had first dibs, or obviously if Jay picked Cody or whatever, you have Cena Gunther. If Cena was facing a Gunther instead of Cody, I could see Cena winning the title at Mania, because you take it back to 10 years ago, WrestleMania 31, San Francisco, right? Levi's Stadium, new Levi's Stadium. By the way, that was the only WrestleMania that Sting wrestled at versus Triple H. I know you remember that. NWO, DX, that was awesome. Pretty fun Mania. Thank you for the subscribe, Siddharth. Appreciate you, bro. So that was also the heist of the century. That was a fun one. Seth cashed in, right? Anyway, that being said, what I'm trying to say is I could see Cena beating a foreign heel again, right? If it was Gunther. He did it at WrestleMania 31 for the U.S. title against Rusev, Miro, whatever you want to call him. And I think it would have been a great opportunity for Cena to beat another great foreign heel in Gunther for the World Championship to win number 17. So that's how I would have booked it if he was going to be facing Gunther. That's not happening. So now that if he does win Chamber and it would go against Cody, again, I don't see him beating Cody. I don't. I see Cody getting a big win at Mania, and they shake hands, they raise each other's hand at the end of the show, and it's all hunky-dory. Like, that's just what I see happening. So, appreciate you guys, Ben. What was a good year that KO had to me? It was all 2016. Sure. Let's see. You think Finn needs to leave the Judgment? Yeah. Well, I think Finn's getting booted from the Judgment Day, whether he wants to or not, 31. That's it. Whether or not they get that new member, whether it is Aleister Black or not, I think Finn's going to be on the outside. very soon. And you know what? Hopefully that's what's best for him. Does that mean he becomes an immediate babyface by default? Maybe, we'll see. It's what happened with Rhea and Priest, but we'll see, man. I think that's what might need to happen, though. It sucks seeing Seth Rollins lose all the time. I hear you, Bryce. Well, hey, at least he won Monday. That's how a lot of people feel about Finn Balor, man. I hear you, Cal. It sucked that KO lost to Goldberg back at Fastlane 2017. I think Seth Rollins should win the Chamber. In the Women's Chamber, I would like to see Roxanne or Alexa. I hear you. I mean, those are fun picks, Bryce. I like the creative mind of a Seth or a Roxanne and Alexa. I don't have any of them. I think it's either Punk or Cena or Bianca for the women. And many may say those are the favorites, but I think that's the reality of the situation. So we'll see. What faction do you think KO would do good in? I like KO on his own, man. When I think of factions, I don't think KO at all. To be honest, if Roman returns next Saturday, it will make my night. Yeah, absolutely, Rachel. I know it will. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for spending your Wednesday night or Thursday morning, depending where you guys are with me. Again, Monday and Friday nights after Raw and SmackDown, I'm on here for a full review of the show. My next live on here, at least for a review of a show, will be SmackDown Friday night. What will make my night is when KO beats Cody Rhodes for a title. Hey, Cal, never say never, man. Do you think Karrion Kross will be a champion again on WWE? Much like NXT, Bryce? I don't know, man. Jury's out. I don't know, man. I would love that for Kross. Let me be very clear. I would love that. Nothing more than for Karrion Kross to get in any kind of title contention. IC, US, let's start there. But do I see it happening? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd love that for him, though. If I was a betting man, probably not. But I would love that for him. Because Lord knows his first run under Vince and even his second run under Triple H hasn't went that well, man. Hasn't resonated well. I think Finn Balor and the Judgment Day will be over sooner than later. Well, Cal, I felt the same way back in the fall, but I'm going to be honest with you. If they're adding a new member, if Judgment Day is adding a new member and all the tension and dissent with Finn, I think Finn is going to be out. Now, I'm not saying Judgment Day is going to last all of 2025. What I am going to say, though, is that's going to buy them new time. If they're gonna boot Finn and then add a new member to the group, then I think we're looking at a much different situation here. I think that's what's gonna happen. So appreciate you guys hanging with me here on this lovely, lovely Wednesday night, Thursday morning. Gonna spend another 5-7 minutes with you guys. Get your comments, questions, concerns in while you can. Again, Mondays, Fridays after Raw and SmackDown full review, guys. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Who you think want to be the next show? Or what do you think of the next Shield and NXT? What they're presenting with those four guys, we'll see. I'm willing to give it a chance. 31. We saw it at Vengeance Day. We saw it at the conclusion of NXT last night. Wait and see. That's all it is. Wait and see. Okay, I get it. They're coming to cause chaos. They still got to work well as a unit in wrestling. The 3 or 4 of them, but we'll see. Like the jury was out with the Wyatt 6. It still is. We'll see what happens. I don't want to say woohoo or knock it. A lot of people were calling it, what are they calling it? Shield Tribution or something? Because they're like, it's like the Shield and Retribution all balled up into one. We'll see what happens, man. I saw Dijak poking some comments on it. Even though we're not close to 2026 Elimination Chamber, I got going. All right, Cal. Cal, you booking right into the future, brother. All right. Well, Ricky Starks, or Ricky Saints now, comes to the main roster. I don't know, Cal. Moose for Soba Femi will be straight fire. Absolutely, Bryce. I agree. I couldn't agree more with you, bro. When Ricky starts, yeah, we'll see, Cal. It's so hard to tell, man. Ricky just literally stepped foot in NXT. So, did you read that? Once Triple H is done completely, Seth wants to take his job over. I did read that. And then there was rumors that CM Punk wants to as well in NXT when his career's up. So, people were joking the other day about, imagine that, Seth Rollins and CM Punk trying to coexist, running NXT backstage. Something tells me it won't go as smooth as HBK and Triple H. But again, we see the on-screen. And maybe they buried the hatchet. I'm sure they've settled their differences to a point. Again, I'm sure Punk and Seth aren't exactly spending off time together, but it seems like they're both being true professionals about it, and as they should be. They're both grown men. You know what I mean? You're paid to do a job, so do it. So, Levy, how we doing? Guys, hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. I'm out of here in a few minutes, guys. Hit the thumbs up. It's been a great, great stream with you guys tonight. As well as subscribe. Hit the subscribe button here Mondays, Fridays after Raw and SmackDown. CM Punk will probably knock Seth Rollins. Do you think Aleister Black will be new leader of Judgment Day? Kick Finn out? I think that's a very likely scenario, Bryce. I think that's a very likely scenario. We saw a lot of the parallels the last couple of years with Judgment Day, with House of Black over on AEW. Obviously, Rhea, the common denominator was Rhea and Buddy Matthews or Buddy Murphy. They've been a couple for years, and Rhea was with Judgment Day, and Buddy was with House of Black. And so now Aleister Black coming over and being the leader would really say a lot. That would speak volumes. Wow, it would almost look like, and pretty much would be, like Aleister left AEW and the House of Black so that he could be the leader of Judgment Day from a storyline basis. And so if that's the road they're taking, and they've been hinting at the last 2 or 3 weeks at least, wow, okay, I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. Seat is buckled, and let's rock. Does Drew McIntyre still CM Punk? TV, sure. Funny that WWE wrestlers go to AEW and AEW wrestlers. Yeah. Hey, it's a business. You know what I mean? You got to do what fits you best. If certain wrestlers, men and women, got to leave WWE or they get cut, whatever, fired, and got to go find work elsewhere, they got to go find work elsewhere. And same goes for, the other way. If they tried AEW, it didn't work out, or people that were never in WWE finally get to WWE, like a Jade or a Ricky or whatever. Hey, you know what, man? So be it. You got to do what's best for you. Are you going to jump on TikTok next? Rachel, the night is young. I'll tell you what, if I still have a voice, which after 70 minutes, I'm shocked, I may. So you may want to look out for me around 1 a.m. over there, Rachel. Maybe earlier. We'll see. Nas, what's up, brother? Yeah, I've been running about 70 minutes. I'm about to wrap it up in a few here, man. We'll see if I had the TikTok. I don't know. I'm getting over my cold. Getting over a cold here. Literally, when I was with you guys Friday night, I know Miss J said it when I first got on. She's like, you don't look that great. I thought it was just because I had a long day. Dude, I woke up Saturday. I was like bedridden for a couple days. So I'm excited to slowly get back. I'm far from perfect right now, but I'm getting there. Aleister Black needs to win a title when he comes back, and he's one of my favorite wrestlers. Yeah, I love him too. Hopefully he gets similar theme music, man. We'll see. If not the same. One more question for you about KO. What was one of KO's worst matches he's ever had in WWE? Worst matches, I don't know. Not one jumps out at me in WWE that was like, oh my God, that was a terrible KO match. But again, as I stated earlier, I was happy to see him first come to the main roster in 2015, get that opportunity against Cena for that U.S. Open challenge. That was fun. Tatum Paxley is one of my favorite women's wrestlers. Tatum's fun. I've liked Tatum ever since she came over to NXT in the first place a couple of years ago. And I liked her initially as a babyface. I know she then turned heel, right? I think she was initially like with Ivy Nile, and then she turned on Ivy or something, and now she's been a babyface the last few months. So Tatum's cool, man. Tatum, here's the interesting thing about Tatum. Not only is Tatum Paxley a pretty good wrestler, but Tatum Paxley carries this certain level of mystique that not just women, but a lot of wrestlers don't have. Tatum Paxley carries this mystery about her. She's not just, you might just look at her and be like, oh, what is she, some goth girl? It's so far beyond that. You know what I mean? Like, you could look at Gigi Dolan or Shotzi, two girls that are in the faction with her, and say that. There's something about Tatum where I think she has a good trajectory going forward. So I'm excited for her future. Why you're not on Monday? Yeah, I was sick, Cal. That's why I wasn't on Monday. Guys, last minute, hit that like button before I head out of here in 2 minutes. I'm out of here in 2 minutes or so, but definitely by 12:45. Hit that like button, guys. Thumbs up and subscribe if you have not already. I'll be back on here at latest Friday after SmackDown, full review of the show. What is the deal with WWID? Belts, I don't understand it. Yeah, so we're going to see how that works, Rachel. We were all reading that yesterday when that news came out. Triple H posted the men's and women's title for that WWE ID. I believe that's the belts that are going to be shown on their Evolve show, March 5th. It debuts on Tubi, so we'll have to wait and see what that's all about. But I'm super curious about it. The up-and-coming men and women in the Performance Center making their way to NXT eventually. Very cool, Bryce. For me and KO, worst matches when he faced... Yeah, I don't remember that one, Cal, but I'll take it for your word. All right, guys, if you have not already, hit that subscribe button before I head out of here. If you are on other platforms of social media and you have already subscribed here, hit the thumbs up here. Thank you. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, X, or Facebook. Very same handle, at Turnbuckle, TOPIX. Just look for the logo, right? Look for the red, white, and blue letters, Turnbuckle. It's the same handle. It's the same default photo on all platforms. I try to make it real easy for you guys. You don't got to type in no kinds of crazy numbers or nothing. No underscores or anything. So hit that subscribe here. Again, thumbs up, guys. Thank you so much. It's been a lot of fun hanging with you guys. And I hope that I see you all back Friday after SmackDown as well. All right, guys. Any last minute comments, questions, concerns? I'm out of here at 12:45. So that's about, 2-3 minutes. See if you meant on TikTok. Yeah, pretty much, Rachel. I'm gonna hope. I hope so. I know I get a lot more volume there typically, and so I might have to have a cough drop before I go on. Can you ask me a question about Kevin Owens? Please give me any question. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Um, about Kevin Owens. Okay. Sounds good. Let me think of a good question. What was your favorite Kevin Owens title reign in NXT or on the main roster, Raw, SmackDown? Was the NXT title, the US title, the IC title, tag titles, Universal? Let me know. Julia versus Io versus Asuka versus Kyrie. Give me that match. Yes, 31. I hear you, man. That is a great fatal four-way match that hopefully one day we'll get to see. As long as so they're all signed to the company and healthy and the main roster, which obviously Io, Asuka, and Kyrie are right now. Asuka's not back yet. Kyrie, I don't believe that they brought her back yet either. Right? It's just Io. So Julia, we know that's inevitable. She's already the NXT Women's Champion. She hasn't been with the company for more than 5 months on TV. So that's gonna be a fun one. That's gonna be a fun one. Tatum Paxley is one of the best theme songs. Yeah, I gotta go check that out, Bryce. I never really paid attention to Tatum's theme song, but I can be honest with you, it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. Tatum's awesome, man. So, all right, guys, 2 more minutes. 2-minute warning. I'm out of here. Thumbs up, guys. Subscribe, and again, I'm on other platforms to follow me as well. Can you ask me a question about Kevin Owens? Yeah, Cal, I already asked it, brother. What is your favorite KO title reign? What is your favorite KO title reign? Could be NXT, main roster. Anybody else, feel free to answer that as well. Yeah, guys, and if you're already subscribed here, be sure to hit the notifications bell as well. So any posts, whether it's a YouTube short, a long-form video, me going on live here, you can check it out. All right, again, Friday night, I'll be on here immediately following Friday Night SmackDown. I ask you one about Roman. All right, Rachel. At what point in time, Rachel, did you know that you were an outright fan of Roman Reigns? Was it on his NXT days or FCW? Was it Shield Roman? Was it Big Dog Roman? Was it Tribal Chief Roman? You let me know. Or maybe it was a particular title reign or feud that sparked your interest. Or maybe you just saw him, which is also very believable for you. Probably when he held the United States Championship. Okay, Cal. All right. Was that when he was on SmackDown in was that when he first came on to SmackDown with the clean shaven beard in like 2017, around there? Around early 2017 or so? Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. All right, guys. Any last minute comments, questions, concerns? Again, thank you for all the subscribes we got during this stream. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, guys, what are we waiting for? Hit that subscribe. I'm about to be out of here in about a minute or less than that. So subscribe, guys, and again, hit that like button. Let's see. The debut, he debuted at Survivor Series. I saw him, and I knew I was in love. Okay, so that was November 2012 was when Rachel had her mind made up. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I respect that. That's when they put a good old. Well, that's when they initially came on as security, right? They were privately working for CM Punk, or at least that's how they initially made it. Then they kind of separated them from Punk going forward. And you got to remember, Punk was with the company, what, a year after that? Year and change. But anyway, they put Ryback through that table. I remember that. I remember that for sure. What was my favorite title reign for KO? So outside of my favorite moment for KO winning the undisputed or the Universal title, my favorite reign for KO, God, I don't know why I want to say Intercontinental Championship. I probably should be saying NXT Championship, but I feel like I got to go back and review his actual title reign, how many opponents he had, again, how many successful title defenses, how long he held the title. I feel like I want to say KO's IC title reign, because that was the first title he won on the main roster back in, 2015, 2016. So I feel like I want to say that. Your favorite Roman is Tribal Chief, OTC. Fair enough, Rachel. Again, I was a fan of Roman much before he was OTC as well. I got a nice one of him back here, little Shield days back there. But I got to be honest with you. I think, most of our favorite Roman is definitely what he's doing the last few years or even now, Tribal Chief. But yeah, I've been a fan of them since the Shield for sure. So, what is your favorite Cena moment? Minus when he won the WWE Championship belt at WrestleMania 29 against JBL. Okay, yeah, well, that was right. That was before I had gotten back into watching wrestling again for the third and final time, it seems, Rachel. My favorite Cena moment, again, after I jumped back into wrestling, so I missed a lot of his glory days early on, right? A lot of his initial World Championships, especially. I'd probably have to say, I really enjoyed him beating Rusev at WrestleMania 31. I feel like getting a big win, a big baby face like John Cena going up against a foreign heel takes me back to the era of the golden era, right? I mean, it takes me back to when I became a fan in the late 80s, early 90s, watching a lot of those foreign heels. And that's why I like Gunther. He reminds me of that time frame as well. So I got to go back to him dethroning Rusev of the U.S. title in 2015 at WrestleMania 31. Let's see. If you had to put KO up against someone besides Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins, who would it be? Who would I put KO up against? Ah, man. Jeez. Who would I put KO up against outside of those names you made mention of? I'm trying to be, I'd like to see Kevin Owens and Ilya Dragunov go at it when Dragunov comes back. I think that would be a lot of fun. Been a Cena girl since day one. Nice, nice. Again, yeah, I had stopped watching by that point in time, Rachel. Since went back and watched a lot of Cena's great moments. Favorite Alexa Bliss moment? Ah, man. I think for Alexa Bliss was her beating Becky Lynch for her first SmackDown Women's Championship, right? Then she had a lot of success in a short time. I know she beat Bayley. Was it Bayley she beat for her first Raw Women's Championship? Alexa had so many great years in such a short span in 2016, in 2017, in 2018. 16, 17, and 18 was the peak Alexa Bliss. Then she went on to get a lot of concussions and injuries. I remember that's why she couldn't wrestle. What was it, Trish Stratus at Evolution? Or something like that, something along those lines. I think it was supposed to be Mickey and Alexa versus Lita and Trish, something like that. But anyway, Alexa, she cashed in successfully, right, in 2018. Against Ronda or Nia, that match. So yeah, Alexa, she had a lot of good moments, man. But favorite moment was probably when she won that first one against Becky. Even though I didn't want her to beat Becky, it was nice to see her get that win. Favorite KO outfit? Kevin Owens is real simple, man. His shirts keep getting better by the week. The amount of trolling he does. So KO, man, he's just great with that. Most emotional Roman moment for me is when he told us, yeah, that was rough. That was rough, Rachel. That was that was October 2018. I remember I was in my man cave, all right, not far from this office, and I was watching it, and I remember I ran up to tell family about it. You know what I mean? To tell some family that were here about it, and I was like, "Yo, turn on the TV or turn on." I was like, "You're not gonna believe this. This is not. This they are not going to these depths." I couldn't believe some people were even considering it was a work, to talk about leukemia. And I was like, man, this is crazy. He had just won this title at SummerSlam from Brock Lesnar. Has to relinquish it. He held it for less than 2 months, and that was sad, man. MJF vs. Cowboy Adam Page. Sean, what's up? It's going to be good. Yeah, we were talking AEW a little while ago. Absolutely. Guys, hit that thumbs up. Hit the like button. If you're new here, please subscribe as well. Appreciate you. My favorite t-shirt is the Kevin Owens is right. Okay. Happiest Roman moment when he returned and said he was cancer-free. Yeah, definitely. If I had to put KO up against anyone, I'll probably put him up against Logan Paul. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, guys. Let's get to at least 10 likes. What do we got, 9? Let's get one more like before I skedaddle, before I make my way out of here. Try to get another subscriber or two before I head out as well. Happiest Roman. Yeah, absolutely, Rachel. And then he got a nice win over Drew McIntyre, WrestleMania 35, right? Then a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're good. Okay, we can boo you again." So that was pretty messed up. But yeah, Logan Paul is your friend or Kevin Owens as your friend. You know what? If I'm looking at it from a business standpoint, Cal, I got to go with Logan Paul. Now, as far as like a cool dude, chill out, grab some lunch with, I'd probably rather pick KO. But like if I'm trying to get my career or take my expansion to the next level and trying to bank, I'm definitely gonna have a few meetings with Logan Paul and hang out with him. Because Logan Paul's been doing something very, very right for a long time, in the sense of knowing how to get exposure and a nice, pretty payday. So I may pick Logan Paul against my better judgment, but I probably my heart would be saying KO, but my mind would be saying, yo, hang with Logan Paul. That's the same way I feel about Cena and Punk. My heart's saying I want to pick Cena to win, but my mind's saying I got to go with Punk. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Roman Reigns is coming back, Elimination Chamber to help John Cena. Nice. Yeah, a lot of people think, Roman might be back to cost Seth or, I don't know, or help Punk if that's the favor that he's cashing in with Paul Heyman. We'll see. I pick Roman. I know you would, Rachel. If you picked otherwise, I'd be very concerned. Has Kevin Owens ever fought Johnny Gargano? In WWE, Cal, that's a good question. I don't think they fought on NXT, right? But because they kind of missed each other from that window, I do believe. But yeah, I don't think they have. I don't think they have. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think they have. Dream about me and Kevin Owens. That's very cool, Cal. Very cool. Very cool. All right, guys. Look, I got to make my way out of here. This has been absolutely awesome. Thank you for all the likes, all the new subscribers. Again, guys, if you have not subscribed already, hit that subscribe button right now. Hit that like button if you haven't yet either. Hit that thumbs up. Everyone counts as well. Helps the algorithm and all that good stuff. I'll be back Friday night on here immediately following Friday night SmackDown. Full review of the show. Discuss some wrestling in general with you guys at the end, as I always do. I get to your comments and questions. All I ask is hit that subscribe, hit that thumbs up, and all is well, man. For female, I picked the man Becky Lynch. Nice, Rachel. I just got a new Becky Lynch shirt, by the way. I'll have to wear it one of these days. Can you ever remember a time that KO was embarrassed himself on TV? Not that I remember, Cal. He rolls with the punches good, man. So have a good night, Sammy. You take care, my friend. Hope to see you back here Friday night for the SmackDown review, guys. Again, hit that like before I head out, guys, and hit that subscribe and notification bell so you know when I'm on. Hardys are back in WWE NXT on Tuesday. Yes, Sean, we're going to get them versus No Quarter Catch Crew and Fraxium eventually. So, guys, have a great night. Thank you for rocking with me. Sammy, thank you for the subscribe. And anybody else, hit that subscribe. Do what Sammy did. Hit that like. I'll see you Friday after SmackDown. Have a great night. Again, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, X, and Facebook as well, at Turnbuckle TOPIX. Just look for the red, white, and blue logo. All right, back to Alexa Bliss. I like that, WWE fan. All right, guys, you take care. Have a great night. See you Friday after SmackDown.